Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Triangle Z podcast. Today I'm joined by my two co hosts, Griggle
Hello.
and Sketch.
Hey,
So, today we're talking about the brand new Inazuma 11 Victory Road trailer and whether it provided us with hope and good things or a bit of fear and potentially some bad things about the new game. So, where do we want to start, guys?
I feel like we should start off with the new big mechanic of the new battles in the midfield with the hands that come out the side of the players.
Right.
Well, before we start, I do just want to say that the trailer looked absolutely amazing, and I
Oh, the
cannot
new
wait for it to come out.
animation is amazing.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I'd like to say as well, like, even if there are some things that are a bit negative about the trailer, that does not mean I'm not excited. I'm thoroughly excited for this game. I've been waiting for it for years, and like, regardless, I'm gonna be getting and playing this game a lot. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll sell
That's
my
fine.
left kidney to buy this game if I
I'll
have
sell
to.
your left kidney to buy this game.
oh, and one quick thing which I forgot to mention was the poll from last week's podcast. The most overlooked and wasted potential character voted for by you guys was Shadow.
Rightfully so. Good choice.
Deserved.
So, do you want to kick us off then, Sam, with the hand things?
Sure, go on then. Yeah, in the trailer we see both an attack and defense player like going at it, and it seems like like two hands come out either side of the player, and there's like three different things you can do. You can either try and avoid the player blocking by running through the hands and breaking their defense, gaining some tension points. You can either use a move, or you can just lose possession of the ball and get tackled.
You can also,
And
if you have the ball, you can just pass it to a teammate, it seems.
and that as well. Yeah. One thing that I have with it in the trailer, we see an attacking player break through a defense and gain around like 20 tension points or something.
Yeah.
And we also, I'm pretty sure we see a defense person win one of those and only gain like 10. So it seems kind of one-sided towards the aggressors almost.
Yeah.
Although that might just be a one-off occasion.
Yeah.
There might be other things like stats that come into play with that.
That could also be a big thing.
So, what is everyone's opinions on this new sort of hand blocking interaction?
I think it definitely seems to be odd because it does look like you can just bypass it by passing the ball. It doesn't look like the interaction is forced anymore. Like when you ran into someone, you had to face them, but now it feels like you can just pass it away,
Yeah,
which is a
yeah.
little odd.
I suppose you
It's
could
also,
do that in the first few games as well by just
mm,
passing around the players.
it feels a little 50-50. Like it feels like if you're the one who's after the ball, if you pick the wrong direction, you just lose.
Well, I guess that is similar, because I know you guys haven't played them. So, in the Go
No.
games, as opposed to tackle and side tackle or like dodge and feint, in the Go games, you just picked a direction, left or right, and so did your opponent. And if the defender picked the same as the attacker, then the defender got the ball, and if not, then the attacker kept the ball. So I guess they're going for that, but at the same time, the left and right did act more or less the exact same as the tackle and slide tackle sort of thing. So
Mm.
it's a weird take. Something I do think that could be an issue is if we have this sort of tussle with every interaction as well. If the timer's not counting down whilst players are deciding, matches might end up being way, way longer than they used to be,
Oh yeah.
to
That
possibly
would
a
be a nightmare
negative effect
almost.
of how long it is. Like, if the if the timer carries on whilst the tussle's going on, then I guess just expect games with less goals. But if it doesn't, then expect super long games, which might end up being too long in some
Yeah.
circumstances.
Well, going back on what you just said, in the trailer, during those little tussles, the characters in the background are running at regular speed, so I don't think the timer would be going down. Or it will be going down even.
Right, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just something to keep in mind, I suppose.
Yeah. I feel like the timer freezing or coming down to a like almost stop it would be reserved for the slow motion in front of the goal,
Well,
or
actually, no, hang on.
the scrums or whatever they're called.
The
Sorry, I was just going to say
scramble.
with
Scrambles, yeah.
the hand thing, it does look as though under the character they have a timer,
Oh, right. So they have a limited amount of time to
like
choose.
a stopwatch.
That's quite cool then, actually. It might actually apply pressure as well. You have to
Hmm.
pick without trying to figure it out. Now, something else I wanted to talk about with these hands is how do we think a character's stats are going to affect them? Because in previous games, like the original trilogy, we had it where, like, if you had a really high gut stat, you were really good at tackling. So,
Hmm.
if a player has a certain stat, how is that going to affect the interactions with the hands? What do you guys
Yeah.
think?
I
I
feel
mean,
like an obvious would make the hands longer, or the arms longer on the hands. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure how an attacker's stats would affect them.
Okay.
I mean, in the trailer we saw that you can break through it, whether that be the stats of the attackers were just ridiculously higher than the other, or if that's what happens when you win.
Okay.
But that's what we see every time. We don't actually see a defender win it, I don't believe, in the trailer.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right with that one as well, actually. But just going on to the one of making the hands longer or the arms, um, is there gonna be a limit to that? And I guess this also sort of ties
Huh.
into can we train the stats? Because in the old games, you could train a stat, say you train kick by 10, and then the other stats would start going down, but that didn't stop you
Mm.
increasing that one stat. So if that's the case in the new game, could we increase the length of the hands so far that it took up like the entire pitch, but I don't know,
Oh
their
god.
speed stats really low?
Just got elastic arms.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be some balancing, or they just
Yeah, that
do a different way around it with maybe making it so you can't break through the hands as easy instead.
Yeah. Something
yeah,
I've just
forcing you
noticed.
to pass it away or something
Yeah.
Something I've
instead.
noticed as well in the trailer. It seems as though they've got a timer, but there's an infinite number there. So I guess you can have custom matches with infinite time where it's just like first to a certain amount of goals, maybe.
I like that. It's
That
an added layer of customization between like friendly matches with
I,
friends.
I tried to
yeah.
customize what it says above, but it just says draw time, apparently, whatever that means.
That that like Sam just said though, that's actually exciting in itself because that suggests that there's a potential to have custom matches between friends where you can really edit the specifics of the match, whether
Yeah.
it be a time limit or a goal limit or something like that. And that could provide for some really cool friend tournaments. So
Mm.
that's pretty exciting.
I've
I'm kind
also
of hyped up there, but yeah.
I've
Yeah,
noticed the trailer. There's a so I mean, unlike like the bottom screen on the DS, in the top right there's a map, and there's also on the bottom right controls for your character. So it seems like
yeah,
their moves.
yeah. I think the moves
Oh,
are on the bottom right,
yeah.
and it does
Okay, so
seem that you have, like the original three games, each character does seem to have four moves.
so it seems like this. I'm at 15 seconds in, and the moves he's got is long kick for X, A is bus, whatever bus is, and B is dash.
Okay, okay.
And then the R button is an action. So that's interesting.
Maybe
Are
the
the moves
R
going to be
bumper.
capped at four?
You what? Sorry.
Are the moves going to be capped at four? Is that what it's suggesting?
Maybe we
I
have
imagine
no
so.
confirmation, but I've only seen a character with like three moves and then like an empty slot so far.
Yeah,
So
because in the other games you could open like a different page to view more moves that you
Oh no,
have
hang
on the
on.
character.
I was wrong. You do see a defender win the scramble.
oh
It's Arian Sherwind, and as he enters
oh
it,
yeah yeah.
The Y button appears, and then he presses Y, and then he does the move to get the ball.
So I was gonna say maybe R, but I guess if we've seen it, maybe Y opens a menu that swaps the
Mm.
four actions of like long kick or dodge or
Yeah,
whatever and
when
changes it to a
Arian's in
menu of moves.
this thing again, when he's got the ball, the Y button, like the text for that's red, and all the others are blue,
I'm
which is
guessing
interesting.
that would be just like attribute. So fire
Yeah.
move and 2 wind moves. Which,
Mm.
with
Yeah,
it
good way of
being
showing it.
Aryan, would make sense because he's got things like easy breezy, which are wind moves.
Yeah.
What a name.
Yeah, the Go moves had some wild names, I'll say.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Do you guys have anything else to mention about the hands?
Not that I can think of, no. Nothing comes to mind.
Going back on what I said on the amount of tension you gain from either successfully like getting out of the block or something. Like I said, if you tackle through it, you gain 20, and if you successfully block it, you gain 10. Now that might be completely talking about my butt. So Ben, if you could double check that if you're watching the video now, it seems like to use moves, it uses up the tension bar.
Yeah.
And if you're defending, since if you successfully do it, you won't get as much tension back, and you won't get as much tension to then use moves. So it seems like if you're kind of forced to defend and you don't have much tension, you'll be at like a disadvantage for basically the whole game
That
until you
Mhm.
start getting the ball back.
that is interesting. So essentially, as we know, the tension acts as the team's TP gauge and is what's used for moves. Now, I do remember in not the most recent, but the one before blog post by Hino, he did say that tension sort of resembles the flow in a match. So if you're in the lead, you're going to be getting more tension and you're going to be more successful being able to use more moves. So I guess by being on the back foot is being represented by defending. And instead of getting as much tension, you get possession of the ball. And getting possession of the
Yeah.
ball allows you to do more aggressive actions, and those aggressive actions get you more tension for more moves. So I guess it might not be stat based, and it might just be like a flat. You get 20 for attacking and 10 for defending, to create that sort of like if you are attacking, you get more momentum and moves. So
Yeah.
that could be why. Uh, Again, it's not confirmed, but I think based on what Hino said in the past, it's quite probable. Whilst we're on that note, though, is there anything you guys want to talk about with in regards to tension?
Um, I think it's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I love FP, is it FP?
No, TP. FP is like
TP, yeah.
physical power.
As much as I love TP, once you guys run out of it, like one of my favorite moves, I've forgotten the name of it. Oh well. What's it called, man? What tsunami?
A
Blah blah blah.
tsunami boost.
Tsunami boost. When I've used that with Hurley, I'm almost forced to just take him off and put him on the bench, but it would allow for them to have the ability to use that move more, unless there is a punishing system for that.
That also brings up another point as well. In the other games, you had players on the bench to kind of like act as like an extra pool of TP for a move that you're like using a lot. But in this
Hmm,
game, if the whole team shares a tension bar and is able to use
that's a good
out
point, actually.
Hisatsu
Yeah,
techniques because of that, what would putting people on the bench add? Unless there's like an FP bar that goes down really fast or something.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I want to sort of discuss your points individually here. So for you, Ben, and I guess what you mentioned at the very end there, Sam, when it gets to the screen where it showcases the team formation, everyone does have a little bar underneath them, which
oh
seems to
yeah,
be FP. And as you can see, the forwards are getting pretty low on it. So I guess you'd sub them off. So your player could theoretically use their moves infinitely as long as you've got enough tension, but their FP will be getting lower and they'll be less effective and slower. And then, in regards to the bench, I guess this time they want the bench to be more either just other players that you think are really cool, or have it be instead of just having, I don't know, a character with Grand Fire on the pitch and 2 more on the bench with Grand Fire, it
yeah,
actually be sort of more tactical. So say you've got a Earth goalkeeper, but their forwards count as Earth. So you swap on a goalkeeper that's no longer Earth to counter their forwards. I guess it's more for that instead
yeah.
of just 50 uses of Grand Fire.
Hmm.
I
There
like
is the
that.
question as if of if elements matter more, because I mean, you can go the whole game without having to make without even having to think about element typing, to be honest.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
least in the original games, it's just you might win a few more if you've got type advantage.
yeah, yeah. I mean, as well, like the original 3 games, I've S ranked a lot, if not all, the teams in the 3 games, and I barely ever take notice of elements, and you just don't have to. So,
Yeah.
something else to add as well. It's not just strictly element, or it might not be strictly elements. Sorry, with characters on the bench that you're swapping out, but just different moves in general.
Yeah. I do wonder if
If what? Oh
I
no.
think he might have died. Oh
No.
no. Discord's acting up.
Oh well. Did you have anything you wanted
Great
to talk about tension then?
tension.
Yeah.
Other than what I've already said, not much.
Okay. You're
Oh,
back
he's
with
back.
us, Ben. What were you saying? That's great input.
Lovely.
hello.
Hmm.
Hello?
I don't know what happened there.
So,
Did you
yeah,
guys hear any of what I said?
you started it and then you said if and then just cut out entirely.
Yeah.
My Discord just went grey. No, so basically, there's the intro. It seems there's an introduction of character. I guess types. I don't know,
Yeah.
but like when we're looking at the team board, we see Mark is passion, whatever the freak that means.
Yeah. So I guess this could be another thing that acts like a rock, paper, scissors where one's better against another. Or it might just be a thing where if your team's all matching, they do better together, sort of like coaches in Go.
Well,
Yeah.
I have an input on this.
Okay.
If that is the case, do you think the more of a certain category there are, the more of those player buffs that you get? For
Mm,
example, there's a screen where we see Mark and he has a few like team boosts under his name.
Yeah.
Do you
hmm
think the more of a certain like category, like Ben said, he was like a passion guy. If you have more passion people in your team, you get more of those like team boosts.
That's a really cool idea, but if you look at that exact screen, there's actually a little lock on the fourth one that is not unlocked yet, and it says level 50. So unfortunately, it seems that they are just purely level up based, and maybe I
Yeah.
know in the blog post there was some mention of upgrading, so maybe we upgrade them to a higher rarity, and that gets them. But at the same time, I do think your idea of having more of a type will give some form of boost. And maybe it's just some sort of thing where instead of the characters' team boosts, there's some where it's like if you have, I don't know, 20%, not 20, like 10 passion players, you have like 20% more stamina. And that's like something that happens outside of the match, if that makes sense, as opposed to the characters' individual team boosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So,
Something that I'd like.
yeah.
Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna
I'll
say, so instead of it being the ones that Mark has, it's just ones that happen on top of that.
yeah. Something I want to bring up is it is kind of scary. I guess it's a negative, but the fact that the players on the team have rarities.
Yes.
It's a really cool idea, but it brings many questions and fears about microtransactions and
Yeah.
what role they'll have to play.
This is definitely the most talked about and feared part of the whole trailer. So, I have recently seen some reassuring takes. So,
Mhm.
I guess we'll start. I'll let you guys start with the obvious just frightful takeaways that are like the instant thing that you think.
I
So
mean, the first thing that I can see from this is that only Mark and Arian are legendary. So whether that means that legendary players are only the main characters within Inazuma, because if it was like main characters in the shows, surely Nathan, Axel, Jude would also be legendary players, but they aren't. They're like a yellow color.
now we have had mention that we can get multiple versions of the same character, which
Mm,
when I first heard that I thought, cool, Advanced Epsilon versus Epsilon, Dark Emperors versus Raymon, we've got the different types there. But maybe it's like you can get a common Mark Evans, or if you pay more
Yeah.
money, you can get a
Oh,
legendary Mark Evans, which has more team boosts or better stats or
I
better
w-
moves.
yeah.
I can't wait to put my credit card into the game to win.
It
Now,
That's gonna
does.
be fun.
It does raise fears, definitely.
something that I saw online, I can't quite remember where, but something I saw online is thinking of this from a sort of stepping back perspective, looking at it as purely a level 5 game. There is another level 5 game that has a similar thing where you can get lots of the same character and you can sort of upgrade them by like
Mm,
fusing them together, and that makes them legendary. And they're obviously stronger, right? Because the legendary is going to be
hmm.
better than
Yeah.
common. But
Hmm.
it's not a matter of microtransactions, but more a matter of gameplay and just getting the same character and over again. And there is sort of a thing
Mm,
where you can be like, I want a legendary Mark Evans, so I'm going to do this, which gives me Mark Evans. I'll just keep doing it. So it's not random and it's not microtransaction fueled. So if that's the case,
mm.
I'm completely fine with that. I don't know about you guys.
I
Yeah,
I do think that. Sorry, I'll let you say yours.
I was just gonna say, I think I saw something similar to what Jacob you talked about. Looking back at other level 5 games, what you said, some of the ways you get like legendary or rare characters, like you either do the same methods of recruiting the character over and over again to like level them up, or to just unlock like have a like luck chance on getting like a legendary or a good one.
Mm,
But basically the same thing you said. I saw it
mm.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
I think personally, I'm all for this because I mean, I don't know about you guys, but unlocking a legendary character, I'd love the excitement I'd get from doing that and
Yeah.
things
Yeah,
like that.
the
I'm
luck
all for.
aspect.
Yeah, I'm all for going crazy over pulling a rare character.
The
You're the
only thing
luckiest one here.
the only thing I will say though is they could still add microtransactions if this is the method. If it's like increased chance, or I don't know, you could
Mm,
bypass your way by buying like 10 common marks to fuse together for £1.99 or something. So,
No,
I mean, even if this is the method, it still might be flooded with
I
microtransactions.
just
But level 5 isn't. I like, there's no level 5 game I've ever played with microtransactions in it.
mm,
Actually, Inazuma 11 Super Deformed might have.
I
So
just hope
hopefully they
that
don't take that route.
I hope
yep,
they have love and care for the free to play community.
I hope they
Yes.
do still. Yeah, looking back at the rarities, I hope. Now, this is my opinion here. I hope it's just a scenario of the more you like use the character, instead of leveling it to like level 10, level 20, it does that, but it also gives it like a rarity as well. Like level
Mm,
10's common, like level 20's rare, like level 15 above is legendary. I hope it's just like a status and not like a different version of the character.
yeah,
I half agree. I mean, I like that idea a lot actually, but I also think there should be some form of thing where like if you play more, you have a chance of get like as long as there's no microtransactions involved, if you work for it, you can get a better version of a character. So like
yeah.
if it was me and there's a way to get Steve Grimm, you know I'm gonna get that legendary status grief
Oh
stem
yeah.
Steve Grimm. And
Grief stem.
taking it online into cool matches and being like, yo, I've worked hard and got this super cool, strong Steve Grimm. That's going to be really cool, and I'd rather it that than just be one flat out Steve Grimm that anyone can have.
Yeah.
But again, I don't want microtransactions to be involved. And hopefully the grind process isn't too crazy, because games like
Hmm.
Yokai Watch Blasters, also made by level 5, are a little too grindy sometimes.
Hmm. And even I hope they find a good balance.
Yeah,
But if they don't, they listen to the community and
yeah.
make it
Yeah.
better.
That was
I
something I
mean,
was
how
going to
long?
say. Go on, Sam.
I mean, how long has this game been in development for now?
God,
Like a good
years.
few years.
Yeah,
I
if we're
imagine.
counting it from areas, it's been
Yeah,
years.
if you assume that you're basing it off the Ares
Yeah,
production.
because I imagine if they've put this much time and effort into a game and then not rushing it out the doors, they would want to put
Yeah.
love and effort into the game and listen to the community.
I was
I
gonna
don't.
So
say, I think with it being like a newer game, it's easier to update things, right? You can just send out a patch or send out an update online that fixes the game or fixes luck rates, or if people are complaining or not enjoying it because of a certain thing, it can be changed. Whereas if you look at old DS games, that's not really something they could do. So if it's not perfect to begin with, I hope it's something that they can do. So that's a good thing with it being a more modern game, I guess.
The thing I love about Level 5 is they've never been a company to make games purely for money. I mean, obviously, every company makes a game for money, but there's other reasons too.
I think
Yeah, they don't have passion, and that
Mm.
drives them.
You
Yep.
see companies like EA, and you can tell they
Oh,
just
not
make
EA.
money for game.
Yokai Watch Wibble Wobble might disagree with that statement.
I have no clue what that is.
It's a mobile
It
game
sounds
that's
amazing.
like a Connect 3 sort of thing, a match 3, sorry. But if you wanted to get on them leaderboards, you had to spend many, many, many monies of your own. But
Yeah, but I mean, that's a mobile game though.
and it
Yeah, I was gonna
died
say I was
pretty
surprised that you
fast.
said mobile game.
I don't know
Not
any mobile
surprised.
game that isn't money driven.
Do you guys have anything else to say about rarities and character types, or do we want to move on to team boosts?
One small little thing.
Yep.
Do you think the those unlock trees, like how earlier we said, Mark might be a passion player? Do you think that would have any input on the character rarities, or no?
I don't think so, because are you on about sort of linking it with the recruitment areas as well? Because in that first trailer, we saw like you could recruit alien players from a alien character tree.
Yeah, I'm thinking it from there. Like the further on in the tree you get, like the more like
Okay,
rare the player gets.
yeah, maybe like the further on, that makes sense. The way I interpreted what you said was like if it's from a passion tree, everyone from passion's gonna be legendary, which I don't
Oh
think so.
no.
But no, yeah, I mean it could be that, which is very plausible. It could also just be like we saw in the alien tree, right? A little scout character, Adelpha Lovelace. But only reason I remember her is because I used her in an air element only challenge. Now, if you recruit her, maybe you could keep recruiting her, and there's a chance of getting like a legendary one. Or, like you said, the further through the tree, you get to the end of the alien tree, and there's like a legendary Janus, a legendary Zine in their like
Yeah.
true
Mm.
alien
Like,
forms. That would
perhaps
also
it
be
could do
cool.
like a Dead by Daylight thing where once you get unlock all the trees, you prestige and like unlock the characters again, but at a higher level or
Oh
rarity.
yeah,
Oh, that
that's a
makes
good point.
sense actually.
Mm.
It would.
So, are you
Mm.
guys okay to move on to team boosts?
Yeah. I was gonna
Uh,
say I'm scared, but I'll stay optimistic.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think this sort of ties in with how do we obtain rarer characters to how balanced team boosts are going to be? Does
Hmm.
everyone on the team give team boosts, or say the captain gives out team boosts? I think that'd be an interesting way. So everyone has team
Yeah.
boosts, but the only one who actually applies them is whoever you make the captain. And something else I want to mention is again, like we saw, Mark had one locked until he was level 50. There's also one that had
Hmm.
like a little plus and I think a book in the top right of its area, which would suggest,
Mm.
like move manuals in the old games, you can give characters team boosts.
Yeah,
So,
like a fifth move.
yeah, yeah. So, what are your takes on those things, I guess?
I think the idea that whoever's the captain gives the team boost is really cool, and
Yeah,
that could tie in with maybe a higher rarity player has better team captain buff and things like that, maybe, or there's characters that have abilities that say they do something when they're the captain,
yeah.
or something like that.
I,
I
I,
think would be a really cool idea.
I think something really cool would be if we do have different versions of characters that go beyond just rarities and are actually like, I don't know, like the neo-national version of Dvalin or Dave Quagmire,
Yeah, yeah.
and the Genesis and the Advanced Genesis. So if we have those types, it'd be cool to see something like, I don't know, if you got Talisman from a cult, he would give a team boost to other players that are originally from a cult. But if you got Talisman from Neo National, he wouldn't have that, but instead he'd have his Neo National moveset with things like, I think, was it Warp Drive instead?
Yeah.
Mm.
So different versions can provide special things based on what team they come from.
Mhm.
That'd be really cool to see.
I would like to see that too, to be honest.
We do see,
It's just
however. Oh, sorry, go on.
no, I was just saying about the whole captain thing, whether there's only certain characters that can be captains, or it can just literally be anyone.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I know in the first 3 games it's kind of hard to tell, but there is a feature called key player, and you can only really apply one character as a key player. So I
Mm.
guess if it's like that, then we could apply
What
that to anyone.
what does the key player feature do in the original games?
Isn't it just the character you control when you run around the map?
No.
No, because it's set to mark throughout most of the main story. I'm pretty sure. Is it
So
just a character you can't take off your team?
no, well,
Um,
actually,
Or is it something you need to progress? Like a
no,
certain
no.
character you need to open a dialogue?
So a
no, because you set
key
it.
player is it's not really mentioned in any of the stats or the help menus, but they actually give a buff to your whole team. That's why I came up with the theory of maybe only your captain gives out the buffs. So
Ah,
it's based on what position they play, from what I believe. So if you give it like a defender, if you make a defender your key player, your whole team becomes a bit more better in defending, including like your forwards and midfielders. But if you give it your forward, all your players are better at shooting. And it's a
right.
weird feature for them to like not discuss at all in the games, but that's what it does. So that's why I sort of thought of the captain applying the team boost thing.
That's interesting. I'd like to see
Hmm.
how that would work out in practice.
So something we do know from team boosts, we did get a few examples when they looked at good old Mark Evans' legendary rarity. His one that was locked at level 50. I can't remember what it does in particular. It might have been stamina or something, but it boosted all Earth attribute players, meaning that there's sort of an incentive and a downside to having a team full of the same attribute. Because obviously, if you have them all the same attribute, Mark will be able to increase all their stamina or whatever. But at the
Hmm.
same time, if they're all the same element, they all have one weakness. So your entire team can get steamrolled by one player.
Yeah.
That would be a very risky strat.
Some other team boosts to mention as well, by the way, is I think there was one where it's like you get more tension from each interaction, and your tension bar is bigger, so you can add, I don't know, fill it up more, store it more, and
Yeah.
use bigger
Yeah,
moves.
going kind of linking the team boosts and the tension bar together. Looking at the trailer, different players use the same moves, but it takes away different amounts of the tension bar. So whether it's the team boosts affecting how much tension in the bar is used, or if it's like the character or like the rarity, what affects it, I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
So either it could be a statistic that the individual character has, but I guess I don't know if you'll be able to do this, but if you could look at the players using it. Although no, Mark doesn't have the thing, so I guess if that's the case, then maybe everyone applies team boosts, but it might be down to team boost, it might be down to statistics. We simply don't know. But from that,
Hmm.
I'd probably say team boosts applying to certain character types. Maybe there's team boosts that say like every passion player gets a certain boost, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
That's probably the right scenario.
Hmm. I agree.
Do you guys have anything else you want to mention about team boosts, or do you want to move on?
Not that I can think of now. Not right now.
I think
So
covered everything. Yeah, I think we've covered everything.
cool. So we briefly mentioned scramble, I think, earlier, but we'll move on to the slow down in front of goal and scramble. So who
Mm.
wants to kick this one off?
Could I pick it up?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, to start off with, in the trailer, we see Axel receive a pass from someone in the corner, and time starts to slow down, and we can aim our shot at the goal. As
Hmm.
in, like, we can see like a little trajectory where the ball's going to go, and we can aim at a part of the goal with the ball.
Hmm.
I think that's really cool. The camera goes over the shoulder behind Axel. It's no longer just a top down perspective of the pitch.
Yeah.
It kind of brings you into the game a lot more. But also at the same time, I wonder how the keeper would respond to that. Because if time slows down and you aim the ball, would you as a keeper be able to move your character to where you think they're going to keep the ball, or would you be able to use a move, or what would happen?
Or do you just have to watch it happen?
I guess so. I mean, that's what most of the keepers do in the trailer.
Yeah. So I definitely agree with you. It looks really cool and it's quite immersive and it's definitely cool to see Inazuma actually sort of, I guess, stretch out, try different things. Um, I I like the fact that it slows down and you can like cross it. But like you said, how's that gonna work in multiplayer? What does it do for the other player? Does it slow down for them? Can they still control the keeper? Do they control some random defender maybe? And
Hmm.
Yeah,
it sort of looked to me, I don't know about you guys, but it looked to me like as soon as that player was going into the thing where they could cross it, it was like inevitable. There was nothing the defending team could do. Uh, like the defenders couldn't get in the way to block it. The keeper couldn't move in time because everything was slowed down. It just looked like it
Yeah.
was really, really difficult to stop what was happening.
yeah. It seems to me like a more refined 3D version of what you can already do in the earlier games. For example, when you kick a player to a ball, you can tap the goal to like kick it towards the goal, but then you can also change where you want to kick it to. But time freezes.
When you
It
kick a
seems
Play
like
player
to
to
a
the
a
wall.
ball.
yeah, you kick a player to the ball. Yeah, it seems like time freezes and you can choose where you can kick the ball to. It seems
Yeah.
like it's just a more streamlined, cooler looking version of that. But also, time doesn't stop; it just slows down a bit.
I
I think
agree.
it's.
Oh, sorry, you go.
I know. I was just gonna say. I think it's a good idea for time to slow down, so you can fully take in what you're doing, and it's also so the goalkeeper can respond as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Also,
know though, because like with the original games, like time stops, you both pick what you're gonna do, you pick where you're gonna shoot and whatnot. And that's fine, that worked. It's just the fact that you can sort of cross it and whatnot, and then like once it's crossed, there's no time for the keeper to react and it's all still in slow-mo. It just feels a little weird.
there's also the case of the third dimension as well. You can kick the ball, you can aim it up and down, so you
Yeah,
Mm.
can't just do it left and right. So
yeah.
what happens if you kick it over the keeper? Do you have an option to jump, or can you dive a certain direction, like up or down?
Mm.
I imagine so, because we have to think as well in the first trailer and whatnot. They did put emphasis on the fact that it's not just like a straightforward kick or chip shot. There's going to be things like you can choose when to do a volley and things like that, or a bicycle
Mm.
kick. So I'd like to think so.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything else you guys want to add to the bit of the goal? So I want to start talking about the scrambles.
I mean, I'll quickly just say like I know we'll talk about this a bit more later, but the keepers were really bad, and I hope that's just a thing with those keepers or the players controlling them,
Mhm.
and not keepers just being bad in general. And also, it would be cool to see if in custom matches or whatnot, if the custom matches are a thing, if we can turn slowing the slow mo thing off. That
Yeah.
like I'm not saying it's something I want to happen, but it'd be cool to experiment with it not happening and
Mm.
whatnot.
Something I've noticed is when he passes to Axel to do like the shot in, it doesn't look as though he can do a move at all. Like there's no buttons or anything. He just sort of you aim and then he sort of just kicks it. So I guess if you're in this slow mo time and you choose to pass it, the option to use a move goes away possibly.
That'd be interesting.
Hmm.
Mm.
It might be a
What
good
do you
way of
think that?
balancing that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Oh,
if time slowed down, you got like a million years to decide which move to use.
mm.
That would be a bit broken.
I guess, but we
Right.
we kind of already have that, and it's
Mm.
fine. If you think about the first three games, like
Yeah,
there's no
but
time limits.
the keeper also has time to respond as well. Because when you kick the ball, there's like a green cone that shoots out, and if the keeper's in that green cone, they can use a move to stop it. But in this one, I'm not sure how it would work. Because if time slows down and you can both choose a move, it doesn't matter what the keeper does if it's not in the cone and you can't stop it.
Yeah.
Do you Are you referring to the cone as in like when you do a long shot?
Just a shot in general.
Does a cone
When a
appear?
player, well,
No,
sometimes you can't see it, sometimes you can.
yeah, that's down to long shots or not. Or I
Is it?
guess shot blocking as well. The cone sometimes appears
Hmm.
to let you know if your defender's gonna get in the way in time or not.
I've noticed the cone is there even if it's invisible. Just wondering if it'd
What?
apply. I'm just
You've
saying
noticed the
if
cone even if it's invisible.
yeah, because sometimes the keeper, even if you choose to use a move, it just goes past you. Like you
I
don't
think
use
I
a
get
move.
what you mean, but
Yeah,
the way you worded that was
I'm not very good at wording things.
interesting.
Yeah. Moreover, if that carries over to this game, it would add more incentive to go in for a slow mo regular kick. Because you said you saw that they didn't have an option to use a move. Now I'm
Hmm.
just thinking that's because they chose to do a slow mo kick instead of an actual move. I'm thinking if that removes the cone,
Hmm. You really
like
like
make it
this
so
cone,
they
don't you?
are not able to use a move to block the ball to save it. I do like the cone.
So,
Mhm.
moving on to the next bit that you wanted to discuss.
One more little bit there. Yeah, the scrambles.
Yeah.
I really like them. In the first few games, they were there, but they were just kind of like a 50-50 coin toss that you were forced into if the ball went astray. But in
Yeah.
this, it seems like when it happens, time slows down. And you have a limited amount of time to choose if you want to keep it or to pass it to another teammate.
Some.
Obviously, it
Oh,
seems
sorry.
like there is an element of luck there, but it seems like choosing which one it is and how fast you do it is a big emphasis on if you succeed or not. Anyway, what were you saying,
Something
Jacob?
not many people noticed was when you pick to keep or pass, there's actually, once you hover over it, a small ring starts to close in on that option. It seems you have to press a button when the ring is aligned with the option as well. So it seems you have to, in the small time given, pick which one you want correctly, time the button press correctly, and then I guess if you both do it, then it's a 50-50.
Yeah.
That could be it.
I'm not sure if you noticed like the sort of closing in ring on the
Yeah,
option
yeah.
hand.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I remember seeing them and wondering what they were for.
cool. So I don't know. I know I'm in the minority with this sort of take, but I kind of liked the random um I guess 4 different options that could happen, which is you keep the ball, you blast the ball miles away, they get the ball or they blast the ball miles away. I kind of liked it being random because now I feel that it might be influenced too much by things like outside statistics, that it's
Mm.
less fair. And I mean, I might just be wrong, and I'd be happy if I was. But I feel that it's not much of a like a random interaction like what would happen in a football match, but oh, I spent, I don't know, 20 hours grinding for some blue boots that make me have a higher success rate in this certain
Yeah.
interaction. I
I
want it
understand
to,
your point of view.
yeah.
I see what you mean. I mean, personally, it was just I'd be annoyed whenever I thought of an epic play, and then my guy just headbutts it offside.
Yeah,
It makes me
Yeah.
cry.
I definitely in 3 as well. Whenever my dude caught it and kicked the ball, it never kicked it to the closest teammate. It just
Oh,
blasted it forwards off of the pitch. It's like that is not something anyone would ever do. But okay.
But no,
or
I see
sometimes
your
they
point though,
just
definitely.
kick it willy nilly at the goal.
Oh, or when
That's so annoying when they
when
do that.
you tap the goal and it's just off screen and your guy just passes it to the goal.
Hopefully, with the new controls, that is something that will never happen again. Because that is
Yeah, I
possibly the
hope so.
most infuriating thing to ever happen. Although
Yeah.
I will say, I'll quickly mention that the other day I kicked the ball in a match where I was not allowed any moves. This is in the third game. You're not allowed any shooting moves. I kicked the
Yeah.
ball at the keeper. It went past the keeper. He had an animation where he dived and it went past him. And then it said half time as the ball went in the goal and it didn't count the goal. It's like, what?
No.
That is not something that happens, man.
Oh God, that's horrible.
That's tragic.
So
Good.
I guess are we finished with the sort of scramble topic?
I think so, yeah.
Sam, you got anything
Yeah.
else you want to add? So this is one I really want to talk about, and I guess I briefly mentioned it already. The keepers seemed really, really incompetent in the whole trailer. Now, I'm not sure if it's because they weren't using moves, like they're only good if they ever use moves, but the very first goal that we see, that is a no move shot, just a normal shot, no crossing or anything, seems to go directly at this man. He dives for it, and it just goes past him. Like it goes, I don't even know where it goes, it just goes like through him. And it's like, I'm really hoping that the keepers are able to still stop shots without moves, because
Yeah.
otherwise, what's the point of having 90% of keepers? You're just only going to be having like Mark Evans, Joe King, and freaking Greeny from Farm otherwise. Whereas if we can stop them with just a normal catch stopping a normal shot, then it opens up the whole branch of all these other cool keepers that we
Mhm.
can afford to use. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys noticed this as well, though.
I did definitely notice it. I think it might just be a case of just it being unfortunate and the trailer wanting to show off cool characters scoring goals.
Yeah, yeah.
You talking about catching just reminded me of when I used my strongest move against Sam and he caught it.
Oh yeah, I remember
You
that.
used like twin boost +2 off of Jude, and bro caught it with a normal catch.
Yeah. Yeah. I just went into
Well,
my own
it's
world
still a
thinking
difference.
about that.
It's
Yeah,
simply a difference in skill. You should just get better at the game.
I
Mhm.
hope that doesn't carry over into this game.
No.
The amount of times in Inazuma 2 when I was trying to S rank all the teams, Inazuma 2 I'd say is the worst for this. The keepers can pull out just some of the worst stuff ever. I'd use like the Earth level 3 off of Mark, who I've given like legendary boots to. He's got an insane kick stat, and freaking Galileo or Nero from Gaia just punches it. It happened, and it's not like, oh, it happened a couple times. It was happening in like all the sort of end matches of all the competition routes. Every keeper was just punching moves away left, right, and center. And it's like, what? So keepers should not be that strong, but I hope they are
I definitely.
competent.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sure
agree.
the older games have like an element of rubber banding to them. Like if you're wiping the floor with them, they like turn on or something. I don't fully understand it, but I hope that doesn't happen in the new games. Like we said.
I'm
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're on about, if I'm being honest.
Rubber banding.
Is it
I know
rubber
what
banded when
It's
you're like
where
in
I
the
know what
game?
rubber banded is, but that's what you're on about is not rubber banding.
it is because you'd be winning and like the team would like pull off like godly just regular catches on
Isn't that just a
super
comeback?
hard shots.
That's just comeback. That's not rubber banding.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
I do.
So
Oh
let's move
well.
on. Let's move on.
Okay,
Seems like I don't even know what I'm talking about.
so um, characters we see. Are there any characters that you guys are really excited that you saw?
I'm just sad I didn't see Ace Server. He deserved to be in that trailer.
Sam?
I don't know, to be
I'm
honest.
not
I mean,
very good with names.
we saw one of the new characters at the start, and he had absolutely fresh J's on. I will give him that.
He did. He did.
The one who's our main character.
Yeah.
Some of the characters in the back look quite cool as well. There's the guy with the arm. He was holding his arms up on his head. The classic anime walk pose.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I was very surprised and happy to see Styx, the defender from Occult, just
Oh
playing as a
yeah.
forward for the opposing
There
team
was
in the
the
trailer.
character from. Is it Otaku as well?
Oh, Artist, yeah, he was there.
Artist. That's it.
We also had I can't remember his name, but one of the Seals of Orion, like one of the big bads of one of the first few teams. He was just chilling in there, and it was cool to
Was
see.
he the one? Was he the one chilling on the bench?
No, no, no.
Victor.
He was on the opposing team, and he was a defender that just kind of was in the background the whole time.
Mm.
But it was cool to see a character from Orion, one that we don't have a game for, be in the trailer, sort
Yeah.
of saying like, "Hey, you're gonna get Orion characters on launch, hopefully," which is really cool because I really want the Requiem Dust guy.
Yeah, that
Something
really
as
builds
well.
in the fact that they're gonna have every character.
Something that seems quite cool is I don't know if it's already been mentioned, but the guy with like the purple in the trailer when they're all walking forwards, the large guy with the purple hair at the front, he seems to be a forward.
Oh yeah, he's one of the
Which is
new
quite cool.
characters actually. Him.
Yeah, so I'm saying one
There's
of the new
also
characters.
the girl with the
Is
pink
it?
hair.
Yeah,
She
she's
also
also a new
seems
character.
like a new forward too, which is quite interesting.
So I'm just looking forward to seeing new moves and things like that.
Yeah, we did get a glimpse of a new move in the second most recent trailer, the one before this one. And they seemed to have a two-player move together, which was really cool.
Yeah, that is really cool actually.
Are there any other characters you guys saw that you thought was really cool to
Um,
see? I mean,
I
for
remember seeing I don't know the name, but there was the ace striker from Polestar Academy from Aries. I
oh,
saw
are
him.
you on about Heath Moore?
Even more, yeah, I saw him on the pitch during the gameplay section.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, it was mainly just sort of main characters like, Nathan, Arian, Mark, and whatnot. But there were some surprising characters on the opposing team. Also, the opposing team did have Inazuma Kids Football Club as their emblem. So I guess
KFC.
I guess we can have any club emblem as our emblem, which
I mean, it's like
is
that in
cool.
the old games, which is quite cool.
Yeah. Um, there's also the weird images that you could have, like the teddy bear or the car or the bumblebee with like a sword for some reason that we could have as our
Like a
emblems.
weird chicken or something.
Yeah. So I the thing is though with the team emblems, if we're thinking from 1, 2, 3, all the Go, which I know barely anything about Go, Ares and Orion as well. Just think of all the team emblems we can pick from. That's quite a few.
Yeah.
I
I
like the
can't
team
wait to pick
emblems.
robot guards as my emblem.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Actually, that's the point.
Let's
I
miss
hope we can finally recruit the robot guards in this game. That would be cool.
Aren't they all just numbered by like the alphabet or
They are pretty much,
identified?
yeah. But the thing is though, like for whatever reason, they all have really cracked moves. Like they casually just have the Earth and Mugen the Hand and stuff and
There's
Fireball
also
Storm.
the female robot as well.
Yeah, the one robot that's a female and she has moves like the Tower, which are female only moves.
Hmm.
Can't wait to recruit her.
This is absolutely off topic. I'm playing 3 right now. Where is Zulan Rice's mansion?
Um, Brazil's camp, and you just go to the left.
I don't have the camp.
Oh wait, no, yeah, sorry, you unlock Zulan's thing before Brazil. I can't quite remember.
Oh,
Um,
Zulan Rice.
I'll briefly mention reverse positioning. So we had Zine, or I had Zine in my 2 playthrough. He had Meteor Blade, which was a shot blocking shot, which because of his high kick stat could actually block a lot of high tier shots like the Phoenix and Tri Pegasus. And he had Photon Crash, which was pretty good in Inazuma 2 because alien moves being super strong, and he had a decent guard stat. So I used him as a defender, and it worked really well, helped me S rank all the teams in the game. And we do see Styx the defender as a forward, and a forward from Orion as a defender on the opposing team. So I'm not sure if that was just for testing purposes, but it would be quite interesting to see if reverse positioning is still something that's viable, or if they're going to do something like, I know FIFA does this, where like if you use a forward as a defender, their stats are going to heavily decrease. Now, I hope they don't do it to the extent of FIFA, because they basically just turn any amazing football player into a under nines noob. But
Yeah,
maybe a little something to stop you from doing it if they don't want it. Or my personal preference would be let us go wild and put anyone at anywhere because it's funny.
I agree.
I just
It
want
is funny
11 Steve Grims. So
if there is Steve Grims.
I'll
I
make
just want
sure
my
there's 11
goalkeeper
Steve
the
Grims.
very front and give him like triple boost or something. I
Well,
really want that.
the goalkeeper who's called Harry Kane in 2, not the actual footballer, just a goalkeeper called Harry Kane for some reason. He has higher kick stat than Axel Blades. So
Rose on a one.
Um,
do whatever you want with that information.
Are you sure it's not
quite a lot
real?
good that running on the beach training good for him.
Are there any moves that we see in the trailer that you guys want to mention or thought were really cool?
See, all of them look pretty cool.
Yeah,
Just talking about the new art style and the 3D.
yeah.
use
In
of it.
general, the animations are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we see the one where Arian creates like a tornado. I don't know the name specifically of it. We see Nathan's one, which looks really cool.
Yeah,
The
Wind's
one
got
where
dance.
Wind's God Dance. That looks amazing.
Flash Dash looks really
Also,
cool.
Sunny.
hmm
Yeah.
Sorry.
Also, don't we see Golden Gull as well?
Yeah, we do.
I'm
I'm not sure if that was in one of the earlier trailers, but it still looks really cool.
I wonder if we'll have that shot that
It's
shows
similar
Paris's
kind.
lights. I wonder if they've got the copyright to that now.
Oh, Eiffel Drive.
I
The crypt.
wonder if we'll finally get it.
I need to play through my Japanese copy of Inazuma 3 and see if it's in that one.
Do you know about that, Sam?
No, I don't.
The
Inform me,
Eiffel
please.
Tower's lights are copyrighted, so there was a move where it had to put the lights of the Eiffel Tower on, so they had to change it for
Wait, just
worldwide release.
the lights.
Just the
Yeah.
lights.
So if you're saying
Yeah, the Eiffel Tower's
if I
still
take
in
a
it.
picture of the Eiffel Tower at night time, I get a cease and desist letter.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I need to see if my Inazuma 3 Lightning Bolt Japanese version has Eiffel Drive.
I want Eiffel Drive.
If it
Or I'm
does,
gonna
I'll
go-
show you guys because it'll be sick.
I'm gonna go book wild if Eiffel
They
Drive.
should make a
comes to
TikTok
Europe.
about it.
I will. Don't you worry.
Nice. More Inazuma content. Let's go.
I guess we're getting to a pretty hefty time here, so
Mhm.
we'll finish off with. Well, I guess we sort of mentioned everything from the blog. So
Yeah.
landscape, portrait, orientation of the screen. I'm guessing this is something we can only do on the Switch, and if we're still getting mobile. I doubt it's something
Yeah.
you can do on like PlayStation. Um,
I doubt turning him on it sideways.
It's odd because it seems like depending on which orientation you have, you'll have different. You'll be able to see completely different things.
yeah,
So I guess it'd just be preference for which one you chose.
but I guess if we have both on Switch, surely Switch then becomes the superior system for Inazuma
Yeah,
playing
exactly.
because you can see, or you can choose, and maybe even do it mid-match. Like you just turn your system halfway through a match, it just changes. That'd be weird.
Yeah, I
Um,
assume it'd be a setting.
I don't know though. So like, which of the orientations do you think is gonna be the most useful? Like most
I mean,
impactful?
because if you can
I
see
feel like landscape maybe.
further, then you can see who's coming up for you. But if you can't see sideways, they can just jump you.
Yeah.
But also, it's not that when it's landscape you can't see what's ahead of you because we see some gameplay that's landscape and you can see it really far down the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I don't know what the dealio is.
Maybe portrait's just
There
like
might
really poor.
Yeah, I think so.
maybe it might be like a mobile exclusive or something, like
Or
an
Switch, like
offline
I
mode or
said.
something. This is like really far fetched, but maybe there's like a portrait offline mode that you can play for like 2 minutes while you're like on the bus or something.
You're tripping, man.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case.
I am tripping. I am tripping. I thought it was far fetched.
And then
Oh.
I guess we'll briefly touch on control schemes before we end it.
I think I don't know. I have a lot of questions because obviously it seems as though it's a joystick control rather than the green arrows. Even though we do see those when like you do the pause button where everything stops.
Yeah,
I
I think this again comes down to what system you're using potentially.
mm, I think it'd be cool to use Joy Cons, but then I have the question of if you're a defender and say you're playing on PlayStation, so you have no touch controls, so you can't touch the screen.
Mhm.
How do you choose who you play as? Unless you just use like the bumpers to switch, maybe, or I don't know.
I mean, I guess
Maybe,
that's how FIFA does it, but that's like the one thing I hate when playing those games. I mean, I don't play those games often at all. Like, I barely touch those games to anyone who's listening. But
yeah.
the one thing I really, really hate about those games is half the time I don't know who I'm controlling. It either changes to someone random, so I end up having a defender slide tackle my own goalkeeper or something stupid. Or I'm swapping, I end up just swapping to a forward when I need to be defending my
Yeah.
goal.
I'd much rather choose who I get to play as.
Yeah. I think something interesting would be a mode where you just control one player for the entire match.
Hmm.
So like
That could
Yeah.
be fun.
you play the defender the whole time or something.
Well, there's the
Or just
multiplayer
play the
team
goal
ogre
instead and
where,
do
or
nothing.
in 2 as well, where you both control half a team each,
Oh yeah,
which is quite
that would
cool.
be quite interesting to see making a
Imagine
comeback.
Yeah.
an 11v11 multiplayer game.
And
5 people are forced on the bench the whole time.
11v11 multiplayer game where all the characters are Steve Graham.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Oh yeah, you can have a Steve Grimm mirror match.
They're all wearing the same kit as well, so you don't even know who's on your team.
You're not allowed to activate the thing that has the coloured
Yeah, you're not
icons.
allowed to see the little bases beneath them.
Yeah, if we do get custom modes, be a thing where you change the team color to like both blue or both red, so you genuinely can't tell who's on your team and who isn't.
Did you just
What
fart
if you're
into
just
your
colourblind?
mic?
No, I started running out of air, so I just
No.
kind of let it out.
No, there
Anyway,
was
going back to
something that sounded
Bro, let it to.
my there, my mic is kind of ass or dookie.
literally.
Anyway, going back to the controls.
Yep.
Going like control like Joy-Cons or touchscreen. The scrambles where you have to select the thing and then press it. Surely wouldn't mobile players have an advantage because they can just tap it instead of having to use a Joy-Con to move it to then touch it?
I mean, the Switch
Because you
is
have to tap the
touchscreen,
circle.
so I guess Switch could do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's on consoles like
Yeah,
PlayStation and
I know what you mean.
Xbox,
I mean,
it just seems a bit one-sided.
we'll just have to
A
wait and
little
see,
bit.
I guess.
Yes, we
Yeah.
will.
Are you guys okay to end?
Yeah. I'm
You
okay
got
for that.
anything
Yeah,
else
I'm
you
cool
want to
to
say?
end.
Okay.
I've got to say I'm excited.
I'll quickly say just before we leave, this week's poll, please answer it if you can. It'll be, do you think things are going to be heavily microtransaction based with the new game, or do you think we're chill and there's no need to worry? It'll be a yes or no, and let us know, and we'll discuss it next time.
Thank you for dropping
Yeah.
by,
Also,
guys.
share the podcast around too.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah, I've just got to move level up.
Right. Thanks for listening, everyone.